All right, welcome to the edition of the AEW Dynamite. Dynamite. That's right, Dynamite. This was a cool show. It was a really cool show. A lot of action and everything. So we started off with an open challenge for Cody Rhodes' title. I was just like, I don't know who's gonna come out. So the person that came out, I didn't really recognize him at first, but I was just like, oh, okay, because I didn't know his name. It was like Eddie Kingston, and when he came out, um, he spoke some truth to everything I've been saying for the past couple of weeks. Cody Rhodes is facing people that he know he can beat. He's not facing these top competitors. He really isn't. And he knows it for real. So, and I think Eddie Kingston said something about like he know the general, he know the owner and all like that. And I'm like, yeah, of course. It's to me, wrestling is when you wrestle everybody. It's not when you wrestle people you know you can beat. It's just like with any wrestler. You want to face the best competition. You don't want to face people that you know you can beat or you can just do a squash match with, because that's not wrestling. I mean, it really isn't. So this was a really good match. The crazy part about this match was when Eddie Kingston brought out the thumbtacks, and I was like, whoa, okay. And then I was just like, you know what? Somebody getting through them thumbtacks, and I think it's going to be Cody. So Cody got suplex into them thumbtacks, boy, and he was in a lot of pain. I was just like, whoa, okay. I was like, yeah, gotta be really tough to take those thumbtacks. Remember Orton was in those thumbtacks, and Mick Foley, and I think Chris Jericho, and I know a lot of other people like Terry Funk, just to name a few people. But it was a cool match, and I really like when Eddie Kingston took that belt off of Cody and was whipping him with it. I'm like, yes, because every time he take off that belt, he just throw it in the crowd. I'm like, what is that? Like, but of course we knew Cody was gonna do a little comeback. Got the thumbtacks in his bag. Seemed like he had it seemed like Cody was about to lose the title, but he had a little comeback rally, and he won of a figure four leg lock. And Cody was attacking his leg, and I was just like, oh Lord, here we go with these tap out victories. Like, so next week he's gonna face someone else, and I'm like, man, who? See, this gonna be the cool story every week. Who is gonna beat Cody for that title? And in my opinion, I think Lance Archer should get that title. He really should, cause he be destroying everybody. He really do. Next we had MJF versus. First he said the person name was Jungle Man, but it was Griff Garrison, so he just dominated that whole match. And MJF was very funny, entertaining, and he was like, "I'm still undefeated." He said, "What's my name?" and da 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 da. And then he said it, and then he tried to get the little cheap victory, but then MJF had him on a turnbuckle and did a power driver DDT for the victory. I was like, man, MJF, man. Now, if it's not Lance Archer, it could be MJF facing Cody for that TNT title. It really could. MJF did beat Cody. He did beat him. It was a great crazy match, but he did beat him. So I was just like, all right. So Bret Baker had an interview, and she was just basically saying, you know, don't count her out. She will be back, and reminding people of what Sheeta did to her when she broke her nose. I remember it was like a straight shot or a straight either punch to the nose or kick to the nose, and she tough. She came back next week and was wrestling. So that tells you a lot from a female. I mean, just a lot from a female wrestler, because when they take shots like that to the face, they don't come back that quick. So it was cool to see Bret Baker. It's like, all right, Bret Baker back. Then next we had Taz come out, talking about, Brian Cage would not tap out and da 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 da. I was like, oh Lord, here we go again, man. Like, look, John Moxley beat him. So John Moxley was working on his shoulder. I mean, his bicep. I mean, look, you gotta do what you gotta do for the title. So like I said, Moxley a fighting champion. I don't know if they face down the road, then that could be something. But as they was talking, Darby Allin was coming out, and as soon as he's about to enter the ring, Ricky Starks attacked him from behind. So they was double teaming him and everything, and I was just like, "Dang, Darby, he's a cool wrestler too. He also deserves another shot for that title. He should get a title shot. Him and Cody had a good match in that finals. I remember that was really really good." Um, Next, we had Chris Jericho. Lee Champion had a funny interview about Orange Cassidy. And last week on AEW, Orange Cassidy dropped like a big old thing of orange juice while Jericho was in the middle of the ring. His whole suit was, his whole jacket. He said it was a $700 or $7,000 suit or something. I was like, wow. And that juice came down, boy. I was laughing. I was like, damn, Jericho. Like, just get. Now, when that first came, like, when that orange juice came down on him last week, he should have, as soon as he felt some of that, he should have just ran out the ring. But I guess it was just too much. He just had to stand there and just take it. I was like, oh my God. And it was funny because JR told Excalibur, he was like, Jericho, yeah, he was like, Jericho, that suit stinks. He said that suit stinks. I was like, yeah, that was funny. Yeah, that was funny. Next we had a false count anywhere between the Young Bucks and Butcher and Blade. This was a pretty good, yeah, crazy match. They was just all over the place. Young Bucks was doing the double kicks to both Butcher and Blade. I'm like, geez, that's like their signature move, boy. Vintage Young Bucks. Vintage, you might as well call it vintage kicks, like Michael Cole said. The vintage kicks. The vintage kicks. The vintage kicks by the Young Bucks on Butcher and the Blade. But they took the action to the ring and they brought out the tables. And it was crazy. Butcher, he suplexed both of the young bucks. They was trying to suplex him through the table, but he reversed it. And I was like, damn. I was like, well, I was just like, Butcher and Blade are a really good tag team. They really are. And then Butcher, he put um Matt Matt through the table. I was like, wow, that was crazy. But the end parts of the match was when the Young Bucks, they put Butcher and Blade through the table at the same time. I said, wow. Whew. Was pretty good, entertaining match. I'm like, man, they was fighting everywhere in the back. They brought the action all the way to the ring. I was like, see, these are the type of matches we need, man. We need something to start backstage and then just can end up back in the ring. Just something different. That's why I love AEW. And then we had this segment of Lance Archer destroying all these people backstage. And I was just like, yeah, I guess he's ready to tear through the locker room. He should do that. He should do that to everybody. Then he really should. So that was crazy. Next we had a match with what was it? Dominate. think I named Dominate versus Evilist. I probably said the name wrong. But I think Dominate won the match. I kind of wasn't really into that. Kind of wasn't really into that match, so I was just looking at it like it was an okay match. It wasn't really ain't really interest me though. But the next match was okay. Hangman Page versus the number 12. I know y'all probably like number 12. I'm like, yup, that's a wrestler. Number 12. Right. Wrestler number 12, Rage, come on down the aisle, baby. Come on down the aisle. Um, it was a cool match. It went back and forth. Yes, the number 12 is very athletic. Number 12 is very athletic. It's just doing all of these moves, the enziguri kick, the shot to the face, the chops. He was he was doing everything. So Hangman Page, he won this match. He did a big right hand that really stunned 12, and then he did his big power bomb for the victory. So after the match, Brody Lee came out offering his services. So when he didn't want to join his group, the Dark Order. So all of his people came down there and was beating up Hangman Page, which was crazy. The crazy thing about it was that FTR came out there and helped him out, and then there you see Kenny Omega just like barely coming out there. I was just like, see, something is going on with Hangman Page and Kenny Omega, because just like the last week, Omega kind of took Marco Stunt lightly, and Marco Stunt almost beat him. Because it's just like what Jericho said. He like they said Kenny Omega, if he don't take his shirt off during a match, he doesn't take his opponent seriously. So I don't know. It could be some tension there, though. It really could be some tension there. And then our main event, we had Jurassic Express versus Jericho and Jack Hager. And basically, um, the inner circle, they was being dominant. They really was. They was attacking Luchasaurus' leg, trying to isolate him. Jungle Boy was doing his crazy little moves, but it was just too much of the inner circle. They was just dominating for real. But at one point of the match, Luchasaurus, they got him in the corner, so he was fighting his way out, fighting his way out. He did some kicks to Jericho and the Hager, but at the end, the inner circle, they had won because of outside interference with Santana Ortiz, and that was just crazy. So inner circle won the match, and after the match, Marco Stunt, the same guy that fought Kenny Omega last week, came in there. It was so funny. As soon as he came in there, Jericho was just like, he felt right there. I was like, man, I like him, man. Marco Stunt is a cool wrestler, man. But Jericho just took him out with one shot. And then out of nowhere, we all saw Sammy. Sammy came back. So now Sammy is back with the inner circle. And then out comes Orange Cassidy with Best Friends. And then everybody scattered around. I said, oh, here we go. That is so funny. They beating up all these people. And then soon as Orange Cassidy Best Friends come out, they all scattered around. I said, oh my goodness. So I guess it is a rival between, I guess, Orange Cassidy, Best Friends, Jurassic Express. I don't know. Maybe Jurassic Express and Cassidy, Best Friends, can have a match with all of the inner circle. I mean, that would be pretty good. That would be pretty good. If they can kind of throw that match together, that would be pretty good, you know. But yeah, this was a pretty good show. It really was. Even though I kind of didn't get the evil list match, but it was still a pretty good it was still a pretty good show. So that is my review for the Dynamite AEW Dynamite show. Please remember, to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And remember, I will be back next week for another edition of the AEW Dynamite! Woo!